YouTube, my friends, it is your boy B3 back with another Toku TV review. This is probably our last Ultraman Toku TV review for a little while. That is until I finish another show. I've already started Rube, and I plan on going ahead and starting Orb as well. I started Rube, and then I was like, you know what? Maybe I should watch Orb first. So I'm going to go back, watch Orb, and then finish Rube. But today, we actually have a series that I watched as it came out. This was the first Ultraman show I watched simulcast on Crunchyroll. And I rather enjoyed it. Ultraman G'd. And it is very cool. Very cool. It's the 29th entry in the Ultra series, which is so many. And it's really good. There are a couple things about it where I was like, whatever. It didn't seem to have some of the more relatable and serious themes for adults. Like, I know it's a kids show, and I think Ultraman should always remain a family-friendly show, to be completely honest with you. I don't mind having a season here and there like Nexus or something that's for an older audience, but for the majority, I think Ultraman being a family show is part of its success. I like Ultraman as a family show. Sometimes I just like to watch happy shows. It's fine. But, like, think about X. X was for kids. It was very lighthearted, but it also had some serious emotional themes, which is good. And I didn't feel a lot of that with this season. It was almost a little too silly, maybe. Because, like, I guess I'm not the biggest fan of G'd himself. I am when he's an Ultra, but not when he's a human. So he's an Ultraman who can turn into a human, but he was raised as a human who doesn't know he's an Ultraman, which is against formula, and I do like that it's against formula. A nice season against formula every now and then, like Nexus, Ginga, G'd, that's good. But he has to become Ultraman to fight these fusion monsters. So, like, most of the monsters he fights are two monsters from the past fused together, like Skull Gomora, which is Red King and Gomora. Really cool monster, great choice of monsters to fuse. You have Thunder Killer, which is Ace Killer and Ella King. Also, really cool monster. And the thing about G'd is, to manifest himself, he has to use these capsules. That's the gimmick of the show. They want you to buy all the capsules, which is fine, They just have all these. He's one of the Gadget Ultramen. I feel like the whole Gadget Ultraman phase started with Ginga. And the Gadget thing is good because the merchandising helps pay for the show. Because Tokusatsu is very expensive to make. Trust me, I know. I'm making a Tokusatsu show right now called Toku King, which you can donate to using the Indiegogo or Patreon links in the description below. And merchandise helps pay for the suits and everything. And also the gimmick is really interesting for kids. It's fun, gives them a lot of playability. And it just helps them compete with Kamen Rider and Super Sentai. Because the big three are Kamen Rider, Super Sentai, and Ultraman. And Kamen Rider and Super Sentai can cross over like every year because they're owned and operated and made by the same people. Toei. So, he lives in this kind of underground base that, like, Belial created. And, like, there's this other alien running around who's serving Belial. And Belial is kind of the overarching villain of the whole show, which is why I was so excited. And it turns out G'd is Belial's son. He's not like he's made from Belial's DNA. It's pretty cool. And Ultraman Zero, the arch nemesis of Ultraman Belial, is the secondary Ultra in the show. And instead of possessing someone really young, like the past several Ultramen have, I don't know about Orb because I haven't watched Orb, but the hosts for Ginga, Victory, X, and G'd were all really young guys, like almost right out of high school guys. And the host for Zero is this salaryman who doesn't even know how to fight at all. And his interactions with Zero are actually really funny. And I love Ultraman Zero in the show. It's about time we had Ultraman Zero as a regular in one of these shows, honestly, dude. Like, it's about time. Ultraman Zero deserves that. He's one of the best Ultras out there, not only power-wise, but he's just a very interesting character. His cockiness is cool, and also it's kind of charming, but he's not so cocky anymore that like used to be a character flaw, but he's kind of gotten over it, but it lingers a bit. It's just part of who he is. I love Ultraman Zero. He was a great mentor to Jeed. And Jeed can like use powers from other Ultras to help manifest his body. He has a cool final form. Haven't watched the movie yet. As soon as I watch the movie, I'll review it. I did get a copy recently, so I'll be popping that in and watching it very soon. But I think this is a fun show. It goes against formula. It has legacy characters. Ultraman's all about legacy characters right now. Ultraman's all about legacy monsters and Ultras right now. So that's very huge. That's a very big part of Ultraman. Just reference to the past as much as possible. So yeah, I really did enjoy Ultraman Jeed. Do I think it's a good starting point Ultra show? I always try to make that a talking point with these. Do I think this is a good show to start on? No. Because I think you should watch a couple of the Ultraman Zero movies first. You should watch the one with Zero and Belial. I forget what it's called. Ultra Galaxy Legends, the movie. You should watch that. You should watch Ultraman Zero, The Revenge of Belial, and you should watch some Ultraman stuff before you watch that. Like you should watch Mebius before you watch that, right? So I still think some of the best starter shows maybe be like Mebius and Max. Maybe start on Mebius, Max, or even the original Ultraman. I think those are good places to start. But I wouldn't start on Ultraman Jeed. However, when you are ready to watch it, it is currently on Crunchyroll. I watched it simulcast on Crunchyroll. Sadly, they are not doing simulcast with Ultraman anymore. I think that might be because Subaraya really wants to bring Ultraman to the States, like a nice release of Ultraman in the States. It seems like all these Japanese Toku franchises are investing heavily in us, you know? Like, we've always had Power Rangers adapting Super Sentai. Kamen Rider, we didn't have any trouble adapting that, but we did get Kamen Rider Amazons stateside via Amazon.com. Subaraya is trying to get Ultraman to the States. Toho recently invested a lot of money stateside. So, Toku and Kaiju monsters, because, I mean, like, right now we're in a superhero boom, and most of these characters are superheroes, but they're also monsters, and we're also kind of in the beginning of a monster boom, not just giant monsters or Japanese monsters, like monsters in general. I mean, look how well The Shape of Water did. We have all these movies like Rampage and the Meg. You think the Rampage and the Meg would have been made in, like, 2009? No, no one would have made those then. But now, monster movies are coming back, dude, and I'm very happy about it. And shows like Ultraman are going to transport us from the superhero boom to the monster boom for sure. So I really love Ultraman. Ultraman Jeed was a good show. It's just fun. It's just a fun show. I really enjoyed it. It's always nice to see Zero and Belial again. I know it's pronounced Belial, but I swear they pronounce it Belial in Japan. And that's why it's always stuck in my head like that. Because I never hear anyone say Belial stateside. So that's it. Thank you all very much for your support. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. But check out all the cool links in the description below, Facebook, Twitter, etc. And I will be seeing you all later.